All right, we are in the Armenian Quarter, and this is the Saint Jack Convent, and it is an ancient building. And one thing that caught my attention immediately was the door. Check out the door. It's Armenian made. It's a 300 plus year old door. And I was noticing the mechanism, the locking mechanism on the frame. It's unbelievable. There's some Armenian writing up there that I cannot read, obviously. Some Armenian writing there. And then the gentleman right there behind the glass told me that it still opens and closes every night. Look at this beauty. Look at the size of the key. It's unbelievable. And the small door. He also told me that it's a 3-ton weight on the door. He weighs 3 tons. And we're just gonna continue here to the church. The convent is over there, and the church is right here. So look at how polished the floor is from the steps. There's some writing there. This is the resting place of our saintly Lord Abraham, Bishop of Jerusalem, of blessed memory, Patriarch of the Holy See, during the reign of Sultan Saladin in the year 1192. Wow! So this dates back to the Saladin times, to 1192 AD. Did you read that? Read it. And this is the entrance to the church. So this is the first Orthodox church was this in Holy Land. The Armenian Quarter. This should be another one of the gates. Okay, this is the Zion Gate. Another entry into the old city of Jerusalem. The Zion Gate. Let's check it out. Ramparts walk descent only. So this is the anchor point for the hinges of the doors that once stood here covering this door. There's the hinges of the other one and the defensive points where they would shoot you if you were intruding into here. something in regards to the 1948 Independence War, Israel. Okay, so there's the hinges, and I'm assuming that is for the hot oil being poured into anybody coming in here. There's some metal. Oh no, it's a mezuzah? Is it a mezuzah? Yeah, it is a mezuzah. It's a metallic mezuzah, I'm thinking. I'm assuming. So there's the oil, pouring oil and hot water, boiling oil. And look at all the damage on the door.
Weil das gab zwei Wege. Eine durch hier und eine durch Belogen. Warum zwei?
Wow. Okay. So you can.
Weil das war sehr nah zu den Tempel. Und zu erobern sehr schnell die Tempel. Das war meine Grund.
The Zion Gate. Look at the damage of the projectiles through the ages, through the centuries. And the last one's obviously from the last war of independence, 1948. Right. So let's go in again. All right, there's a tablet here with information. Let's read it. Arabic words up there. All right, this is the Zion Gate, built in the time of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century. In Arabic, Al-Nabi, Dawood, due to its proximity to King David's tomb. Right, so King David's tomb is around here. And I see another tablet right here, which is covered with the fallen soldiers of Israel fighting in this latest war against repelling the terrorist organization Hamas. May they rest in peace. This is the last place excavated by the authorities of Jerusalem, and this is a part of a Cardo Romano and Byzantino. So the columns and the stuff on the back on the right is where the shops was, and this was the sidewalk down here on the left. So they're Roman and Byzantine. All right, we're right outside the Dung Gate. There's the security, always present. And this is the Dung Gate. And the gate was built during the Ottoman occupation by the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. And we're just gonna follow the wall down to the Gethsemane and the Garden of the Olives to see the ancient olive trees. We are just off the Dome in the Rock complex, and down here we have the cemeteries, and then this area, and then that path that takes you to the town, or that part of town. And then right there, there's some caves that they may still be inhabited, ancient neighborhoods. If I'm not mistaken, that over there is the Church of the Accession. And then right above it is the Russian church. And here are the tombs of some of the prophets or historical figures. And all those are tombs of ancient tombs, all of them, all of them. We made it down, and this is a mausoleum or a tomb, and we're gonna find out whose tomb is this. And this is Absalom's rebellion against his father David. So he's the son of David. A psalm of David when he fled from his son Absalom. King David crossed this valley, the Kidron Valley, when he fled from Jerusalem to the desert as his son Absalom, who sought to inherit David's throne, rebelled against him. David's minister and advisors, as well as the city's residents, fled the city with him. The people and the king crossed the Kidron Valley by the road to the desert. The rebellion ended with the downfall of Absalom and the return of David to his people and his people to Jerusalem. So that's the story of this thing. But I don't know what it is. I mean, this is a psalm, and it doesn't tell me what's going on with this structure. Let's see if this says anything. It says Cave of Jehoshaphat, burial cave from the Second Temple period. The facade of the cave features a relief of a gable triangular depicting the facade of the roof of a holy structure. The ornamental style is derived from the Hellenistic art that influenced Jewish burial architecture in the late Second Temple period. The complex contains several burial crypts of unidentified individuals. The name originates from the identification of this section of the Kidron Valley as the biblical Jehoshaphat Valley. So there it is. That's it. Let's see if we can go in. No, you cannot. Oh, continues. Okay, so this has no access. I'm assuming this is one of the mausoleums or burial places. And here's the carved stone. And yeah, there's no access. No access to this. Human feces and toilet paper. And there it is. So this is the mausoleum, and the structure. The spiral structure is just ornamental, I would say. I don't know. There's a hole right there. No idea. This is the Gethsemane Garden, purchased by the Knights of the Holy Sepulchre. A couple Croatians, Paul, Anthony, and another guy. And they purchased the Garden of Gethsemane from the city and donated it to the Franciscans. So now it belongs to the Franciscan order. Most of those trees predate Jesus. the original. So there's 3 basilicas built through the ages, and the first one from Theodosius, the second one during the time of the Crusades, and this last one that is from 1919, and is the Church of the Nations, the place where Jesus had his, he knew he was going to die. Right here on the right-hand side, you can see some of the remains from the previous basilicas. I'm not sure if it's from the first one or the second one or the third one, but there it is. Same as in the other side, opposite. There it is, part of the old building. Beautiful basilica, done in a Byzantine style. There's remains right here from the old basilicas, or stone, just stone. Here's another section of the original floor from maybe the second basilica during the Crusades. There's some young trees, but then there's those trees that are dating back the time of Jesus or beyond. And so this is the Gethsemane garden. Gethsemane means the oil press, or the place where you make oil with the olives. And this garden was purchased by some knights in 1681 and donated to the Franciscan order, as I mentioned before. Look at this guy. So this is the area where Jesus, knowing that he was going to die, he came in to take refuge and pray. So this is the church right next to it, with 12 domes, built in 1919 by an Italian architect, and it is called the Church of the Agony. Now, what is this and when? Okay, yeah, 1919. a modern chapel. So there's the original mosaic and walls of the previous chapel. This one obviously is not old. It's actually pretty modern. I don't see any names. And but this is the original mosaic floor and the original walls from an old chapel. Okay, this is the tomb of the prophets and the catacombs. Good evening, good morning, afternoon.
Where are you visiting from?
So we are in the catacombs. So those are burial places. You see? And the crosses. Dating back to 100 years before Christ, and still in use during the Byzantine years. We just witnessed something we didn't want to witness. Some of the Jewish settlers having a confrontation, cops call, military call, and etc. And we had to flee for our safety. And yeah, it's not a very good thing. So it's Israel, you know. We're always going to have these kind of issues here. And this is the Church of Mary Magdalene, Russian Orthodox. And it's up in the Mount of the Olives. And we're gonna come in. So there's a portrait of the Tsar Nicholas and his family. 1918 in the colors of St. George. I don't know who this individual is. The Madonna with the child. Coming from the Garden of the Olives, Gethsemane and all that, we are coming into the old city through the Lion's Gate. Lion's Gate because of those two lions, and it's called the Lion Gate. So, as you come in here, on the left-hand side is the Muslim quarter. I filmed those doors before because they're ancient and they're beautiful, amazing. You can hear the wood and then the metal on top. This one has still a couple of, rings for the mechanism for locking the door back in the old day. So there it is. Now that hole right there, I believe was used to, if somebody breached the doors and the moth, if there was any, they would be pouring down. I'm not sure if that hole is for that purpose, but they would be pouring down hot boiling oil. And then you have the door here. You have the door here and the hinges here for the doors that once stood open and closed right here. Okay? And that's it. Okay? This had doors too. There's a hole here for the hinge, and where is the other one? I see only one, and I don't see anything on top. I don't see anything on top. So this is the Lion Gate, and it dates back to the Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, 1538 to 1539. That's when they built this gate. That's it. And now you're inside the city. This right here is a water fountain called something about the Sabil. Sabil, a public water fountain built in the 16th century, also named Arabic Sabil Sin Mariam. Mariam for the proximity to the place where Virgin Mary was born according to Christian tradition. And the place where Virgin Mary was born is right next door, right over there. It is raining, and this is the first time I get rain here in Jerusalem from all my visits. I was telling my wife that when I think of Holy Land in Jerusalem, I think of this spot specifically. Why? This is the Lion's Gate is that way, and the Via Dolorosa starts over there and it comes this way, and this is station number 3, I believe, or 4. And maybe less. Nice job, huh? Anyways, this is the spot where the Israeli army hangs. Is a post for the Israeli army. They go out in patrol and then they come back and hang in there. But this right there in that specific spot is the spot where the paving stones are dating back to the to the year 100 before Christ. So when I think of Holy Land, I think of this spot specifically, right there. And the Via Dolorosa continues that way, and then to the right. So it is raining in Holy Land, in Jerusalem. And this is the Austrian hospice. Somehow I end up in this gate, Damascus Gate, with a cardamom coffee. The last day of my stay in Jerusalem. The last time I was here was, what, 15 years ago, and there were no fences right there. And people would sit there and buy coffee from there and buy food from there. Now they kicked them out. And so now here we are, having my last Arabic coffee with cardamom and ready to go. A lady asking for money, the ancient doors, and the sun coming out.